Welcome back, everyone, to the series you didn't know you were missing out on, but you were. Because now that you've seen this, now that you're here, now that you're following along and listening, now you're fulfilled in life. So welcome. I'm your host, Philip Danger. You know me. Thank you for being a constituent. So this is a segment that I'm going to try to shoot as much as I can, where I meet up with another coach and they join me and we go here in Austin and try a cookie out. And it's that simple. The premise is that simple and ridiculous because I'm that simple and ridiculous.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this
Yo, welcome to the mobile podcasting. I'm already recording. Look at this. This is your mic. This is my mic.
We're getting cookies.
Lauren Schaefer, welcome to Coaches and Cookies.
Coaches in cars getting cookies. Get it right.
That's so close to comedians in cars getting coffee. I think someone's gonna be like, that's not accurate. I've been riding so high this week so far.
Abundant.
Just like it's not like I haven't cried ridiculous amounts since yesterday.
God, same.
But at the same time, I'm like,
I love my
there is
emotional
just
range.
this up and down, and we'll be right back.
Cookies.
We're back.
Chocolate
Cookies from Sour Duck Market. We have a chocolate chip cookie. No, that's the chocolate.
Snickerdoodle.
And a snickerdoodle cookie. And here's your ASMR. Let's try. So you got the chocolate chip. I've got this snickerdoodle. One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
Chocolate chip with salt. I think there's brown butter in here. You had a brown butter cookie before?
I'm going to say I can't confirm or deny that I've ever eaten a snickerdoodle cookie before.
Really?
When you think of I'd like a cookie, be honest. Does snickerdoodle immediately come to mind?
No.
They did only have two options. These were the two options they got. We maxed out their menu.
You know, I would have gotten a croissant if it wasn't so like, oh, we could have been coaches with croissants. Oh, well.
Do we need to, let's vote on it. Do we need to change the name to Coaches and Croissants? Y'all let us know in the comments whether or not Coaches and Croissants are
Interesting.
By the way, this is just a bit of a chaos of a first episode. What are you
taste
getting
the
there?
almond in here?
No.
The almond. Mm-hmm.
Bring it back. By the way, you got to hold this pretty close. Territorially sensitive.
Almond extract. You taste it?
Okay. I get it.
I have a pretty refined palate, though.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, what I'm going to say about these cookies is they're rather large. They're large cookies. And so for large cookies, for the amount of geography they take up, the snickerdoodle specifically, without having anything inside of it, it needs to be a little more chewy. It's just because
Less
it's
fluffy.
big. Yeah, less fluff.
I think they're meant for sharing.
Are they meant? I don't. That's never. Like, look at the size of this thing. That's a lot of chocolate chips as well. That's how I make chocolate chip pancakes right there. Is like full of chocolate chips. So out of 10,
Out
what
of
do you give
10?
these? Snicker, I'm a 4.5.
I think it's a pretty up-leveled snickerdoodle, if I do say so myself.
Okay. What do you give?
So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Solid.
That's a fancy snickerdoodle.
Solid choice.
For you never having had a snickerdoodle before,
You say
your
I
vote
can't.
doesn't really count.
First off, don't invalidate my experience of first time. A chocolate chip?
I'm going 8 on the chocolate chip. The salt on there,
8?
8. I like the amount of chocolate as well.
I've had a lot of chocolate chip cookies in my life.
You can
I think
get
I'm
one.
7.
Yeah.
I'm like a low 7. I'm like,
What were we talking about before we got out of the car?
you were invalidating my
On the way
experience
here.
with snickerdoodle cookies.
Different
I was talking about our hard days building in hindsight.
Yes. I think the hard days are like a gauge of growth too. I mean, there's always going to be hard days, but we're going to see that like the hard days a year ago are different than the hard days now. And then it's like the upward spiral.
Yeah, I look at it as me and my dad talked one time about how pressure builds. And if you don't have that pressure, you don't have that compounding, like what is made from that pressure. Putting yourself in a position to allow that pressure to build, to create what comes next. So if you imagine, if you're constantly alleviating that pressure, you're never going to find out what comes next. What comes out of that process. The pressure you can withstand right now, as we continually push ourselves, we can withstand higher and higher pressure. So the hard days today look like nothing a year from now.
Yeah.
And that grows when we start using common language like capacity and in connection and relationships like that is allowing that pressure to build and to grow and see what comes out of us.
Because we're making the unfamiliar more familiar, which is growing the capacity. Technically, growing your nervous system to be familiar with like what it can handle and being able to navigate the unknown.
Yeah, I think that's huge in being able to sit in connection with someone next to them and say, this is hard because I'm committed to seeing what comes out the other side of this, who I am on the other side of this and who you are on the other side of this.
You think pressure is necessary for things to be birthed to get to a new place?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't happen without it, huh?
I think life initiates that pressure whether you want to or not.
So good.
So good. Guys, friends, lovers, thank you so much for following along. This has been the first episode
Cookie-tastic
of Coaches in Cars with Cookies, working title, provided by, not sponsored by, Sour Duck Market. Thanks to my fantastic guest on this episode,
Woo.
Lauren Schaefer. You can find her on socials. Lauren Likes It Like That. Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, Facebook as well. If you're still around that relic. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Woo.